Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Fancy reliving the glory days without emptying your pockets, getting this season's kits without leaving yourself skint? Well, you can at okjersey.com, where retro kits and this season's fits from every major beast across Europe and the Premier League don't break the bank. That iconic Leeds 70s strip, Liverpool's 89 Hillsborough Heroes, Manchester United's 99 Treble Terror, and even Arsenal's invincible Shimmer. Juve black and white Zebra Classics, Real Madrid's Galactico Whites. What a player R9 was. Inter's Nazuri Knights under the San Siro lights. PSG's stylish 90s flair. OK Jersey have got them all, direct from all the vaults. Authentic retro fire at prices that leave change for a pie at the match. No fancy markups, just pure kit passion. Free shipping for all orders over €50. And if you're part of the Just Joe family, you can drop the code JUST at checkout for 8% off. Because supporting the Mighty Whites or your continental crush, Tacticos, Barca, I'm looking at you. So gear up, don't break the bank, and go to okjersey.com, where history and current prices are affordable. Scan the QR code now, hit the link in the comments, and don't forget to use code JUST at checkout for 8% off. Peace out. Now let's get back to the boss show. People, good morning. Welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. Welcome back to a smiley Joe and a happy Joe after what was a valiant effort against Manchester City. To be honest, after the first half, probably I wouldn't have been asked doing a video because I'd have been sick of my life, and Joe wouldn't have been smiling and probably thinking, listen, it's only a matter of time, just get it done. Even I said at half-time, we need a direct manager. We need a manager that's going to play defensive. We need a Sean Dyche type. We need a Nuno type, for example. And look, I think it's time maybe for a change, and that's coming from me. I felt that the writing's been on the wall for the last couple of games. And then we saw shoots of life in the second half against City. There was a change of formation. We went to a 3-5-2. We started to create a few chances. We scored 2 goals, and we looked better for it. And if it weren't for a decent strike from Phil Foden in the 91st minute, we'd have come away from the Etihad with points. And none of us, even the most optimistic Leeds fan expected that prior to kickoff. So a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. I don't know how long we've got Joe for, but I'm going to fire it over to him now and just get his initial thoughts. Joe, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good till about 10 past. So good 15 minutes. So we should plenty of time. I'm good. I'm very happy with that second half performance. Same as you in the first half. I was thinking, can we just pull the plug on this and move on, because there's nothing changing. Yeah. I think we've talked about it for weeks, where we've been saying, like, if he's not willing to change the system, if he's not willing to change the players, if he's not willing to change the approach, then unfortunately someone has to change him, because that's just the problem that's there. We've been talking about 3-5-2 for months, and talking about playing to our strengths. The Athletic did a fantastic piece with John McKenzie during the week as well, which highlighted that Leeds were at their best early in the season when they were playing a more direct style. So it all kind of lined up to being, why have we moved away from what was working? Why have we moved away from what we recruited for? And then part of me is also saying, like, why is Daniel Farke making it harder on himself than it needs to be? You know, like, help yourself out here, mate. And then the second half. Now, a lot of people are saying that it was forced upon him. Dan James, possible hamstring issue. Willie Nanto, definitely not at 100% sharpness-wise, which is expected because he hasn't been playing. And then it was maybe forced upon him. But we've seen good things come when things have been forced on Daniel Farke. Joe Piru and Jorginho Rutter switch when that was forced on him. The 2 injuries started last season for Gruev and Ampadu, and all of a sudden now Tanaka gets to start early in the season, and we see how good he is for Leeds. So good things have come in the past when he has been forced upon things. And I thought the second half played to our strengths. I thought we were excellent. Absolutely excellent. I thought the intensity was what we want to see. And none of us are expecting to go into that game looking for points out of it. But we did want to see, where can we fix the issues that we've seen in the last couple of weeks? Can we see some hope of life from this group of players, a fight, a battle? And I think in the second half, we got all of those things. The disappointing in the first half is we can see the exact same goal again. Even with 2 different left-sided players, it's the same goal, which means it's definitely a setup and a tactical issue. But when you look at that second half, BL comes in the centre of the 3, looks excellent. Pascal Strouk gets to play the football that he likes to play, coming out from the back is a massive asset. Our wing backs, Gabby Goodmunson's a real asset as a full back, wing back. So Jayden Bogle, really, really good. Have to say, Pascal Strouk kept, I was going to say Alfie, kept Erling Haaland so quiet.
Brilliant.
So quiet in that game. Brilliant performance. I thought Ilya Groove's defensive work in the middle of the park throughout the game was a highlight for me, just breaking up play. Ampadu in the second half, way better than he was in the first half. Miles off for me in the first half. Second half, excellent. And then you see the best of the two strikers. And even maybe Joel Piroe gets to fit into this style as well as a second striker. So there's so much benefits. If you don't have to go two up top, you can go with a 1 and a 1. You can go with Okafor in behind, but you've got options. You've got far more options to play with this system. So yeah, I was really encouraged by that. I thought, this is it now. This might just save your job, Daniel. This might just save Leeds seasons. Season. Chelsea 3-5-2. The only thing that disappointed me was his comments after the game where he said nothing to do with the formation change. And that, to me, I went, oh, Daniel, please listen. Please listen to everybody. And I hope it's just him playing, mind games a little bit, and he's not giving his formation away before the Chelsea game. But if he doesn't go into the game against Chelsea with 3-5-2 and he goes back to 4-3-3 and we lose at home, then I think that's it. Because that you're ignoring the facts now to play away that you want to. But that's potential that hasn't happened yet. So as of right now, and a fantastic shift, a proactive change that sees Manchester United, as Manchester City, absolutely cheat. And now videos have come out this morning that show that Phil Foden was offside for the second goal as well. So yeah, we can feel a little bit hard done by, but that's not bad going away to Manchester City and feeling hard done by.
No, you're right, mate. I think as well, I can tell from the fan base, from your reaction to other things that I've listened to this morning, there's a lot more renewed optimism for the season if we can perform like that on a more regular basis. I think I was just infused by us going direct. I thought we got more out of Biol. He almost was more sweeper. The ball kept getting dropped back to him and he would send it long. I think too many times in the first half we tried to again play out from the back and just got swarmed on by better quality of opposition in City, and they just won everything. I thought, I do want to give some hot tips. Even when we were under the cosh, I thought Jayden Bogle dealt with Jeremy Doku exceptionally. Doku's been one of the most informed wingers in the league for the last few weeks.
Terrified what he could do to us in this game.
Same, mate. And it wouldn't surprise me if Bogle went into it thinking, shit, I've got my work cut out today. Strouk, like you said, against Haaland, it was funny in the lead up to the game. We said, Farker, how do you keep Haaland quiet? He managed to do it. Admittedly, other players scored, but it is what it is. So there were some good performances out there. But when we switched to that 3-5-2, it just looked better. We seem to get in their faces more. We seem to want to get stuck into the tackles, just smashing into players, not being as, I don't know, maybe not fearful is probably not the right word, but being as cautious. What's that, sorry?
Standoffish.
Yeah, standoffish. Maybe showing them a bit too much respect. And in the second half, we said, you know what, let's get it up. Yeah, I really liked us getting the ball up to Metro and Calvert-Lewin. And then when we were winning the knock-ons, there was there people for the second balls. And I was saying during the game or towards the end, that looks even better when you've got Stack and Longstaff available to you in that midfield three as well. And that's no downplay on Tanaka, on Gruev, because I thought they were both great yesterday. So, yeah. But, naturally, I spoke to a few people after. They say it's maybe not as simple as just changing to a 3-5-2. Because that will then get worked out. So I guess we've also got to look at tactical flexibility from the manager, which he showed at halftime. But I'm with you at this moment in time, Joe. I think 3-5-2 has to be the way forward. I know people disagree, and I'll speak to them during the week, so I'm interested to get their takes. But yeah, for me, now, Chelsea, I want to set up with the 3-5-2 and see how we get on. I think we probably see the best of Biol there. I don't want to see Perry playing little 5-yard passes either. No. He's got a very long kick, right? It goes distance. It's not like Mez's, for example. His kick goes long. So use that for me. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, he's his long passing is actually fairly accurate. Like he will
Yeah.
pick out Metcha or DCL nearly every single time. His short game has never been his strong suit. It was what was talked about when he came in, that his short passing isn't exactly his strong point. And I thought he made some really good saves yesterday. I thought he looked really good yesterday at times. The Phil Foden save was really good. The deflected shot where it's going the other way and he gets his toe out. I mean, he's fouled for the corner. Clearly Silva backs into him, and why they're looking for an offside and VAR, not a foul on the keeper, is beyond me. But I thought he looked better. But again, and people can say it's not as simple as changing to a 3-5-2. But Daniel Farke spoke this week and said that the base formation isn't the issue. The base formation is the issue. It is the issue because we don't play to our strengths with that system. We don't. And we don't play to the type of players that we brought in. And everyone who with a brain has talked about this, who are far more in depth at talking about football than we are. Like proper sport. John McKenzie knows his stuff when he looks at analysing sport and data. And it backs it up. We recruited for what we did in the second half. And we're asking people who were recruited for a direct, aggressive style of football to be judged on tippy-tappy, possession-based tactical football, which was not what their strengths are. So you've got to play to your strengths. And yes, teams will work it out a little bit, but that's where the hard work and the intensity comes in. And there's that old saying in football of hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And Leeds' hard work yesterday was better than the talent that Man City had in the second half on the pitch. We outworked them. And you can do that. You don't need to be the best player in the league to do that. You just need to be somebody who's willing to run a bit further, tackle a bit harder, get a bit closer, move the ball a bit quicker. And all of that stuff plays into our strengths. And we can do that. We're not going to win every game of the season. We're not going to go on a massive run. But we can make it a little bit more uncomfortable for teams playing against us. And I think that's what we saw in the second half. They were rattled. You look at the first half against Aston Villa, rattled. You look at the first half against West Ham, rattled. We've had this issue. We've only put one half of football together in most games this season. If we can do this more consistently, this team is there and does have the ability to at least scrap for its life to stay in the 100%. League. And that's all I want from them.
Yeah, I think what it did show us as well, Joe, I don't know your thoughts on this, because I know a few people would or have mentioned it in the last few weeks that maybe Farke's lost the dressing room. That couldn't be further from the truth when we see, for me, how much the players put in on the pitch. That's just my opinion. Do you have anything to say?
I wouldn't say lost the dressing room. I did have a thought during the week that he might have lost part of the dressing room. Okay. I think, and that could have been the newer players that have come in because they seem to be the ones that are getting hooked when things aren't going well. It's like, well, you're off.
There was only a couple of signings, weren't they, that started yesterday?
Yeah, exactly. So a part of me was thinking, well, maybe he's lost that part of the dressing room, or maybe he doesn't have the relationship built up with them. But I think if you saw yesterday, there was a proper battle there. But I just think, to a man, the change made everybody look a lot more comfortable. Yeah. Like there was less panic. And we've seen when we first half, every time City went forward, it was panic stations at the back. And we've seen that in the second half against Villa last week as well. And you're like, this second half was comfortable. Bodies behind the ball, gaps covered. There was no free runs into the penalty area. There was no last.
Mate, how frustrated were you, mate, right? He's changed the full left side. You're thinking, okay, I understand it because that's where all goals come from.
Yeah.
And then, not even 2 minutes in, we saw the
58 seconds
goal.
I said it during the week on the podcast. People who are picking out the goalkeeper and saying he's the problem. People that are picking out Stroke said he was the problem. BL was the problem. They've all been changed.
Yeah.
And we've still conceded 2 goals per game. And then again, it changed left-hand side and it's the exact same goal. The individuals are a symptom of a bigger problem. And the bigger problem is how we're set up. And what happens is teams are smart. And if you look back at the Villa game specifically, that was what really stood out to me. And Man City in the first half did it a lot. They'll go to our right-hand side and they'll drag us around. They'll play over there for a little bit and then it's a bang, quick diag into the space on the far side.
That's what happened in the first goal. It went to Gvardiol and he just switched it. Oof. And then we were all over shop and
which means that the setup isn't set up to be able to adjust quick enough. And they should be, because look, I was always trained when I was a footballer that don't worry if you're too far away from the player when the ball's on the other side of the pitch, because as it's traveling, you have time to get across. But we just never seem to get across quick enough. And that, to me, says that they're being asked to play in a certain area. But again, whether it was forced upon Daniel Farke or not yesterday, if the penny doesn't drop with this, then he has to go. And then you have to look at a Bose Fenson or a Knutson or somebody who will play this system and play that kind of football, as you said. Yeah.
if when we play Chelsea on Wednesday, if the kick off as soon as the lineup comes out, if it's not 3-5-2, just sack him on the spot.
Yeah,
And
I said if it's
like
not half time. Yeah,
I'd be like, come on.
You've been incredibly patient with him. Like you have pinned your colours to the mast, and you're like, I want this guy to be a success.
Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
Ultimately across the board, and I said this before with other managers, I want any Leeds manager to be a success, because if they're a success, we're a success. And that's I genuinely don't care about who's in the dugout as long as the badge on the front of the chest is doing well. Yeah. And that's all I want to see from Leeds United. And it's nothing to do with him personally. He did an incredible job in the first season, settling everything down at a very volatile time. He got us promoted, deserves credit and respect for that. But you can't be stubborn in the Premier League. And if your ideology isn't working, you've got to be tactically flexible, or you'll just get wiped out in this division. And the club can't be sentimental either. We as fans can't be sentimental, because sentimentality will get you relegated. And then you're back to square one again. And no one wants to see Leeds United become a yo-yo club. That's not what we want this team to be, and not who we think Leeds are. So I said weeks ago, the best course of action is Daniel Farke figures it out, and we all move forward together, because it causes less instability. The question will now be, has he figured it out? And will we see this on Wednesday? And I hope for his sake and for everyone in the club's sake, that he does see this and go, great,
I just listened to Square Ball, and they were saying, like, you're going into Ellen Road on Wednesday, Boyd and bouncing. But then if you see the lineup and it's 4-3-3, you straight away, your head's dropping. Or Aronson's back in, for example. And I don't mind Aronson, but I get, like, if we went back to 4-3-3, Aronson's on the right, Okafor's, everyone's going, oh, for fuck's sake, aren't they? So, one thing I'll say for him, and sometimes I actually think it's actually a detriment to him as well. But if something goes well in the previous game, he normally keeps it for the next game, you know, even if it's a player, it's personnel. And even sometimes that can be wrong. I can go, well, just because it worked there doesn't mean it's going to work this week, Farke. But that's one thing he does do. So I'm expecting 3-5. I am expecting 3-5-2. And Okafor's shown as well. He I think at Salzburg and maybe at Milan has also played in as a second striker, if you like. So we can still play him there if needed.
His Swiss manager will absolutely hate that, because he doesn't want to play as a striker, but his Swiss manager hates anything that he does, so it doesn't really matter. But what he can do is drop off the 9 and be a 10.
That's what I
mean. Then when you get into January, go and buy a feckin' 10. You know, get a proper 10. And then you've got, like, people like Brendan Aronson do fit into this as well, because bringing Brendan on the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes of the game, when you need high energy to press, perfect. You know, that works great. That works really, really well. But it also means you've got your James Justin has more opportunities to get in. Dan James has played as wing back for Wales as well.
I thought he was good, Justin.
Yeah, he was very solid. And again, in the first half, he makes 2 or 3 really important blocks in the penalty area. He's clever enough to know where they're going to break, and he gets there quickly. So you're starting to see the strengths of the players more so than the weaknesses in that system. Where the 4-3-3, we're talking about how weak they are in certain areas. And with this one, you're like, no, there was strong elements to his game there. And if he does want to play just one off the striker, again, he can do that. And he can keep that 3 men in midfield and play the way he wants to play with that central 3, but get more options up forward. And I mean, look, most teams won't play with 2 strikers. So for an opposition team setting up to play against you, they'll probably play with a 2 or 3 at the back, and they're not set up to man mark 2 players. And all of a sudden there's space in the wings now, because the centre halves can't leave the centre anymore and go out wide to cover. They have to stay with their men. So it gets the best players on the pitch as well, which is what we want to see. Yes, there's sacrifices to be made in certain areas, but Dan James has played right wing back for Wales a lot. So he's used to playing there. Joe Rodon plays in the 3 at the back for Wales as well. Ethan Ampadu's even played in there at times.
Biol plays so much better there. Biol looks so much
That's where he plays for Slovenia. He's the centre of the 3 for Slovenia, and he's regularly man of the match in their international games. And then Stroke also gets to play, but he can now push forward more and play football because he knows he's got Biol in behind him covering. So again, there's just an awful lot to it that I think, and I'm probably getting too excited after back of a defeat, but still,
same though. Just bizarre, bro.
But it's been such a slog for the last 6 weeks watching Leeds going, like, what's going to change? Where's the win going to come from? Where are the goals going to come from? And then you go away 2-0 down at half time, and you put in a performance like that in the second half, and you go, don't tell me this squad isn't good enough to stay in the Premier League. It absolutely is. But only if it plays a certain way.
Exactly, And even I've been quite disparaging of the team over the last few weeks. I do think the squad is poor. It's not as good as we felt. But straight away, you start to see shoots of light, because I go, right, okay, well, I saw a better Biol. I did genuinely see a better Biol. I don't think he's looked great up until this point.
Not a two. No.
You know, I think we get more out of Goodmanson playing him higher, and I've actually rated Goodmanson. I like.
Yeah,
Do you know what? Just seeing Metcha and Calvert-Lewin going for balls and competing in the air against Premier League centre-backs was enough for me as a pair to go, do you know what? This really can cause... Like, I look at Chelsea, yeah, Achimpong, Adarabioyo, Tosin Adarabioyo, Chalobah. They're not amazing at the back, Chelsea. So I actually think we can cause problems against them midweek. And I dare say we could get a result, man, on Wednesday. And that's... I tell you what, at half time, there was no chance of that for me yesterday. Whereas now at full time, I'm going, we can get something against them.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. So, at least the point in the next two, you could definitely. Yeah. I mean, especially Liverpool's run at the moment where they're playing. All you've got to do is make it a little uncomfortable for them, and they're not very strong willed at the moment. They're really struggling mentally. So why not look at the next two?
Do you think Mfaka could tell? Or maybe felt like it was coming to the end and he just thought, do you know what? I'm going to go back to what I know, tried and tested. And he dropped a lot of the new the new signings. Then at half time, he does the same again and goes, well, job's fucked anyway now, so I might as well just throw the dice. And really, a bit like you said, and people said it in the comments just yesterday, and I think they're bang on as well. It almost feels like it's been forced on him, a bit like the Pirro Rutter thing. But it's worked, and therefore he now has to run with it, surely.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there was a lot of conversations, a lot of chatter around saying that apparently Calvert-Lewin and Ampadu had a chat with him at half-time and recommended to him we need to go two up top. There was a lot of people said that. If you listen to Lucas Metches...
Where's that come from?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Who the fuck's got that info?
Well, apparently Ethan Ampadu has had conversations with him before about little tweaks that have been interesting. So Ampadu doesn't seem to be shy about going up to him and saying, look, boss, we need to change this a little bit. And that's what you should... And come here. That's what your captain should do. Yeah, your captain should be able to do that. So if they did do that and have a chat with him, but I also think it was probably forced.
He's not like Bielsa, because Bielsa would go fuck off.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Well,
but I also think, and people said in my chat as well yesterday, it was a Hail Mary jeer. And I went, it probably was. It was probably, I have nothing to lose. I've got nothing. Yeah. Why not? And well, all he did was just made all the people online that he's been telling are wrong for the last 6 weeks go, told you so. There you go, Daniel. You know, thanks very much. But again, and it is important to say it's one half of football. It doesn't mean it's always going to be this way. We've got to see it more often, but you've got to see that intensity level and that aggression. Again, keep going back to it. Newcastle, Everton, first half against Spurs, first half against West Ham, first half against Aston Villa. That's when we're at our best. Aggressive, on the front foot, moving the ball quickly. Slow tempo in the Premier League, and the data shows Leeds are the slowest side from back to front in the league. And in the Premier League, it's such a quick game, you're going to get eaten up, and we have been. So it needs to be something that's more square pegs, square holes, horses for courses, the right players for the right system. And if he wants to go back to a 4-3-3 in certain games where it fits us to do that, no problem at all, be a bit more flexible. But right now, we need to stem the flow. We conceded one goal in the second half against Man City. And that, to be fair, only for Vardiol jumping when he does, that goes into hits a bunch of players and doesn't go in the corner. Vardiol jumps at the exact right time for that ball to go right under his legs and into the bottom corner. So there's a bit of luck in that as well, but you make your own luck. But yeah, you want to see us just being a bit more solid and a bit more difficult to beat. And I'm okay with that. And start on Wednesday night.
Yeah, definitely. The goals, okay, maybe a bit fortuitous, the Calvert-Lewin one, but you know, we were getting nowhere near that in the first half. We were managing to get up the pitch. The penalty, I can't lie, I knew he was going to save it. I said at the time, Donnarumma is an absolute giant when it comes to this stuff. But thankfully, it wasn't, you know, just a dead ball. We could get the rebound. And Metcha 3 I said he was a dud a couple of weeks ago.
4 this season.
4, yeah, top scorer.
Free transfer.
Bits. Yeah, both of them actually. And now I'm going, the recruitment wasn't so bad.
six goals and 11, or 6 goals and 12 between the two of them now. So a goal every second game on average. But yeah. But look, again, it gives you more options. And I'd like to see Joe Pirro come in with this as well. I think it'll be interesting to see how we get on this.
Yes, agreed. I agreed. I thought they might have done that yesterday, but he brought on Okafor instead. does he have to win one of these next 2 games? Because it's all good and well playing 3-5-2 and playing well. If we still get beat in the next 2, Joe, it still don't look, mate, for great reading. What do you reckon?
Well, I've been saying for a couple of weeks that I don't think he's in as much under as much pressure as people externally are making out. Yeah, I think internally you listened to how he spoke last week and he was talking about 17th was the goal. We always knew we'd drop into it. And you're like, well, then that would have been discussed with the board in pre-season. Yeah. So they'd be fine with this. He's probably not under that much pressure. He's in and around where he's told them they would be. But I looked at Brentford and went, if he loses all these games and then goes away to Brentford and loses, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's it. That'll be the decision.
We've got like Sunderland, Brentford, Palace coming up, haven't we, after this?
And Palace are fourth. Like, that's not an easy game, but they're a good side. But you're looking at Sunderland having a bit of a wobble, and you're looking at Brentford away. But that's London again. We don't do well down there. But that's the one where you go, okay, you've had these really tough run of 4 games. Now this one's a little bit better. You need to get something. But I don't think he needs to win the next 2 at home. But I think if he can get a couple of points, I think if you get 2 draws even in the next 2 or 1 win and 1 loss, I think it saves his job probably until Christmas. Could be a Jesse Marsh situation as well, where it just kicks the can down the road a little bit longer. But if he reverts to type, that'll be the problem. He needs to realize that there's a different way of doing this. If he does that, fine, no problem. We all move on together, no issues at all. But I think if he gets 2 points in the next 2 games, it'll be a half decent return against 2 really decent sides at home. Fine, adds more points to the board, keeps us ticking over. Can't afford to get nothing now from the next 2 either. That Burnley game is the one that's just hanging over your shoulders. If we got something in that, there's not as much pressure in this one.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that there is, as you say, sprouts of life there.
Yeah, there are reasons to be positive going into these next 2. Might work in his favour as well that it is a quick turnaround. The fact that we play Wednesday and then I think it'll be Sunday, won't it? We'll play Liverpool probably. No, it's actually the Saturday evening, so we play Wednesday and then Saturday evening. Yeah, that is quick. So it might actually work in his favour. Maybe we'll get 2 quick games out of the way, decent results, and then we're only a couple of games away from January. Does this? I mean, it doesn't change January at all. We just need to get some quality in, don't we, Joe? We need to get it in. Early doors, none of this. We'll wait till the end last week. It has to happen quick. We've got just looking there, mate, we've got 1, 2, 3, 6 games in January. Plus, you'll probably have an FA Cup 3rd round tie to be squeezed in there. So you've got 7 games. Let's not fuck about and wait till game 7. Let's get them in for game 2 or 3. You know what I mean? We need to
be ready to go.
Yeah.
Have the negotiations done. There's nothing stopping you having the player ready and lined up.
We've seen a lot of Premier League clubs online. It says they're already speaking to X, Y, Z. We've not seen out from our side, but we need to be active.
Yeah, we do. And they've said before they usually do their shortlist 6 months in advance. So let's get busy. And also, just I have to go now, but before I do go, if it is the case that stuff goes back the way it was and we start losing again, it's not just the manager that will need to go. It's also the people above his head that will need to go as well, because there's a proper issue there in terms of the recruitment and what they've done and the management of the club. So, but get the stuff done early, get a 10 in at least, get him a 10. If you want to add another quality box-to-box midfielder, fine, no problem. If you want to add a right-sided player, again, no problem. Gives you more flexibility. Yeah. Get it done early. Don't muck about. If you need to sell, but get it over with quick.
100%. Agreed. All right, Joe, I will let you go. Thank you for joining, mate. And enjoy your Sunday, pal. Bye-bye.
There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go. That was Joe. I will just change my background. Great to have Joe on as per. Busy guy. I hope yous are all well. I'm feeling a lot better. Like I say, this time last Sunday, well, it's Sunday, but this time last week, we did the game and then I sacked it off till like Wednesday, didn't I? I was like, I'm done. Fuck off. I'm done. I'm stressed. Feeling a lot better. Renewed optimism. Gonna smash the Christmas market this morning with my daughters. Eat some churros and shit. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of reasons to be positive. And I guess the best thing is we don't have to wait now till next week. We've got a game Wednesday and then a game on Saturday. Quick turnaround. It's what we love football for. I'm excited for it. A lot of love for Joe in the chat as per. Make sure you're going over and smash a like on the video. A lot of Doom merchants on channel yesterday. There is. Yeah, my demeanour is much brighter because my football team's doing better. Good stream, good in chat it was. Maybe it's too early for the naysayers. Another loss coming against Chelsea. May well be the case, but there's a way in which you lose, isn't there? But I would like to see 3-5-2. I would like to see, personally, Perry in goal, Bogle right back, your 3 centre-backs, obviously, Rodon, Biol, Strauch. I would then, yeah, let's hope it's not naive. I'd then play Goodmanson. I thought Justin did well, but I'd like Justin on the bench. He can come on and either flank then if either of the wing-backs are lagging a little bit. So I'd play Goodmanson because I really like him going forward. Midfield 3, I think Stack will come back in. So you'll have Stack, Ampadu and Tanaka, because Stack will have had his 10 days by then. And then the striking positions, I go Metra and Calvert-Lewin. That'd be my preferred preference. I think we cause problems against Chelsea. We might even get a win. Who knows? There's Jer's channel. I thought City would hammer us, and after a minute, I thought he would as well. I miss final word. Best show in the community. Yeah, mate. It's just hard, man. I did have a great group, and they've all gone and do their own things. Me and Jack are starting a show tomorrow, Monday night. Straight Facts. Me and Jack City. It's going to be 6 o'clock. Normally going to be Monday, but that's going to be 6 o'clock. So looking forward to that. Final word. I'm actually going to see a friend tonight. I'm trying to better balance my time. But yeah. So I'm going to see a friend tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. Over in BFD actually. I'm going to Bradford. I'm going to Yorkshire. But yeah, look, as Graham Smith put it, close but no cigar again. It has become a theme, and we need to, exactly, Jim, we need to stop it becoming a theme and start to take points. Chelsea next at Ellen Road. You know, let's get some. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it and get the points, man. He was great, but I think Stack. Well, maybe I think Stack's better player all round, isn't he? So let's get him in there. It's going to be tough because you're up against Caicedo, you're up against Enzo Fernandez. It ain't easy. But is that general footy talk with Jack or just Leeds? Just straight facts, man. Whatever you like, we'll be talking facts, cutting through the BS. But the players fought for him. The away end stayed with him, and we deserve more based on that second half. And hopefully we can carry that into Wednesday against Chelsea and pick up 3 points. I'm looking forward because it'd be the perfect foil. Leeds United against Chelsea, tackles flying in, bam, let's get at them. 3-5-2, shithousing, let's get you. We're going to smash in here, let's go, all that kind of vibe. And we pick up the points and we move. Hopefully. We shall see, yeah? We shall see how we go now. And enjoy the Christmas market with me doubters. So a quick shout for me and out of the door. Enjoy. All good, man. All good, official Zoom. One day at a time, my brother. One day at a time. But thanks as always for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Will Daniel Farker stay with the 3-5-2? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if I don't see you tonight, you'll definitely see me on Monday. Peace out, folks. Love for the love. Bye-bye.